What's up? What's up? What's up? Good to see you people. Thank you for joining us. It is Friday night. It is 9 p.m. And we have another episode of the O'HalloRANT. I'm your host, Ryan O'HalloRANT. Thank you for joining us. Wasn't on last week. Friday actually was in transit and arriving in Orlando. The first flight I took since March 2nd of last year. So I'm not going to lie. I was a little anxious, a little trepidatious, a little vigilant of getting on a plane with a whole bunch of people, going to Florida, no less. No offense, Florida, but you guys are like the Wild Wild West. And it was spring break season. Not only for college kids, but families bringing their kids to the Disney World and, Universal Studios and anything and everything you can do in the greater Orlando Kissimmee area. I was just hoping that they were just plane loads of people going to the Super Retro Con, which was the reason I was down there. Went to the Kissimmee area for Super Retro Con. With my co-star Marilyn Ghigliotti. You may also know her as Veronica from Clerks. She was a part of this convention as well. And I gotta tell you, look, coming from Northeast Pennsylvania, where it was been in the 30s now for quite a while, all winter long, getting into 85-degree weather. I'm not gonna lie, it was heaven. It was just heaven to be somewhere warm. Wore my mask, things how things are. So first off, let me just say hello to some of the great people out here tonight. We got Mr. Scott Meany. We got Mr. David Madison. Good to see you too, brother. Hey, Christopher Hewitt has yet to miss a show. Good to see you, sir. Liz Ellis, Terry Jarrell. We got also Quinn Egger, Gem Girl 1975, a close second when it comes to seeing all the shows. One of our guests, Mr. Glenn Ferraro, watching as well. And Mr. Bob Nostrababis Sankowitz. He's in the house. He's another previous guest on my show. Thanks for joining us, Bob. I'm glad you could tear yourself away from the hockey game, but knowing you probably have the hockey game on one TV and watching this show on the other. Chicken Stuff, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for making a Jolt Freak. Good to see you as well. Hey, Danger Girl AC, Amy, good to see you as well. Joe Sanders, Sean Smithson, Mark Thrasher, good to see you guys as well. So it was an interesting weekend. I was there flew down on Friday, got there by Friday afternoon, and then left Monday afternoon. And while there, we also got to visit the movies that opened up in Orlando that Friday. Got myself some of their fine adult beverages, the lager there. Very good, by the way. And it was being made by the fun folks at Motorworks Brewing. Here we go, see, 4.8 volume. Motorworks Brewing took care of this fine lager. What a location, though, man. It was right there where, if you're familiar with the Orlando area, it's right where the giant Ferris wheel, or the eye center, right there. The restaurant is called Tin Roof, is the space that they took half of, because the other half was they kept as their regular restaurant. And this big kind of open space, where I guess is a nightclub normally, is they turned into the movies, and quite a fun time. So Marilyn joined us on Saturday, and we'll discuss this whole weekend here in a few minutes with her. If you missed my show, the last show I did, which was not this past Friday, but the Friday before, episode 16, my good friend Bertrand Wong, we were talking about the rise in anti-Asian violence. And since that broadcast, I see it's done nothing but gone up even more. Not because of the broadcast, obviously, but we got to get a hold of that. Now, we don't know if this gentleman this suspect, this perpetrator, this murderer blatantly chose the victims because of their ethnicity, or because they were women, or because he has a deep and disturbing, depraved mind that he had to take it out, his own inadequacies with himself, and take it out on innocent people. But, people, we got to get a hold of what's going on and look out. We have to look out for each other, especially now for our Asian American and Pacific Islander brothers and sisters. We just have to. That's it. If you need some more information, you go to stopaapihate.org. And if you're in the New York City area, AA Federation .org is another great organization. If you want to volunteer your time, I know in San Francisco, there are now groups of people escorting, especially the elderly of the Asian community, around to get their tasks and their groceries and stuff done. So big ups to those volunteers who are doing that. So if you hadn't seen the show, the last show, episode 16, by all means, please do. We brought out some very important points. My guest, Bertrand Wong, did brought up some amazing points and stuff like that. So back to Florida. I got to tell you, it was a good time, man. It was definitely a good time. Did a couple of things down there too, not just the con and not just the movies. Walked around this great wilderness park called Circle B Bar Reserve, where there's like this kind of bayou swamp / alligator bird sanctuary vibe. We'll show some pictures a little later on that. So a lot of fun. Saw the Snyder Cut of Justice League last night. I took 4 hours of my night and dedicated it to that. I gotta say, I enjoyed this cut more. Yes, it's longer, but I think it fleshed out the characters more. It gave more background to a lot of the characters. It introduced other characters. I mean, Darkseid's in it, which was really great. They upgraded the armor of Steppenwolf to this amazing, really great armor. Very clever, the design and all that. If you're looking for a nice big screen kind of, or surround yourself kind of epic kind of film, you're going to be sorely disappointed, because he's released it in a 4:3 aspect. So it's like old school tube TV kind of filming. I don't know if he was going for the old school TV kind of aspect look, or he's trying to do comic book panels, like you'd open a comic book and, see a comic book in squares and panels. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe it was cheaper. Who knows? He didn't have to pay for the extra few inches on either side of the screen. So we'll see. So we'll talk more about that as well. So let's not keep her waiting. She's actually still in Florida. I don't know, something with immigration. I kid. No. She has her brother lives down there. So she's staying in Tampa. She left Orlando right after the show on Sunday and is in Tampa. She stays there for a couple of more days. So she's having a lot of fun there in the wild, wild west of Florida. So without further ado, you know her, you love her. I was her 37th, but she was my first guest on this very show. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only Marilyn Ghigliotti.
Hi.
What up?
What up? Try not to be too loud.
No, yeah, no, your brother is sleeping. He's an early riser, huh?
But yeah, actually, yes, he is. I mean, he may not be asleep yet because he has a hard time sleeping, but they're just above. So yeah, I'm on the same coast as you.
Maybe he's watching the show. Who knows?
Yeah.
You're on the East Coast. You're on the East Coast time zone. So in certain respects, now you know how it feels here doing a 9 o'clock show. So
yeah.
Last time you were home, it was 6 o'clock, and you still had your whole evening ahead of you once you were done here.
Yeah. Hey, Jody.
So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad you actually asked.
No, not at all. Well, I was going to talk about, doing a show for the first time over an entire year after being, locked up, so to speak, and locked down, to be amongst fans again and to be amongst, the convention vendors and just that whole world, was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Also very, very, very such a great feeling. Um, it was glad to see that people were really good
Yeah.
to wear masks, sanitizer stations were spread amongst the whole show floor kind of thing. I mean, it was only a 25,000 square foot location, but I think there was only 50 vendors scattered amongst all of those. I
Yeah.
mean, 60 at most. And even the booths they gave us were incredibly spacious. I'll just to show people, the place that they gave us was pretty good.
It was.
I had from the front of my table to the back of my booth was definitely more than 10 feet. And it was nice. And I know people are like, you weren't wearing a mask, and people need to understand that we took masks off to take photos with people. And here's a prime example. This fine couple, you can see they're in the front of the table. I'm behind the table. Then we had one of the assistants who was helping us take their phone and take their photo from them, or photo for them, and then hand it right back to them. And then everybody put their masks right back on. You can see the t-shirt vendor to the left there. He's got his mask on. Like, everybody was wearing their masks, and
Yeah.
and it was a safe kind of thing. I mean, I think I have a photo of you signing, and you could see that the person in front of you has their mask at the top of the screen there. You have your
Absolutely.
mask on. And I didn't find it any impediment to be wearing a mask during the show, to be honest with you. It wasn't a hot,
No.
the weather actually was gorgeous down in
Was.
Orlando. Wasn't humid at all like you would normally think, it would be.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of it was good that they had like the big garage doors open where the loading dock was, so there was a breeze that would come in, and
Mhm.
the event center we were at itself was like 2 stories tall, like if not taller. Like, there was a high ceiling in it. So
Yeah, it was pretty much a normal convention center.
yeah. And so there you go. See, Jody Brenner. That's me and Joey. That's correct. Stole your photo without your permission, Jody. So thank you for watching, by the way. So we also have
Yes.
Cool Cat Rican saying it's nice to see you both again. Good to see you too, Cat
Good
Rican.
seeing you.
And
Christopher
Hewitt, yes, and Marilyn, Christopher Hewitt says you are awesome as well.
Thank you.
And of course, Chris Per Domenico says what's up, and cool Jersey.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you. Our booth spaces were awesome. They were nice and fairly wide, which was great. Glenn Ferraro, one of our guests who did a painting of me, cartoon style, he says hello as well. So, and of course, Mr. Madison, you look beautiful. Why, thank you. Marilyn, didn't there you go. So, what did you feel like? Was this your first time getting on a plane, and how long?
Actually, it wasn't my first time during the pandemic, because I did.
What? You lied to me.
I did go and visit my daughter in December.
You're a liar. I'm just
I
kidding.
was, yeah, I was a little nervous back then, and it was United who didn't quite take the care that Delta did on our way here. I will say that.
Yeah, Delta is still doing, for those who don't know, Delta is still doing middle seats are empty for the entire middle row of the plane. United, which I flew, did not. But I kept my mask on. Everybody kept their masks on. No one started a scene.
Yeah.
They loaded the plane longer, so they took what's normally a half an hour time to get people on board. They took an hour to do it, and they would load them in smaller groups, and you couldn't take your mask off unless you were actively eating or actively drinking.
Right.
And then even at the end, when you deplaned the plane. They called you. You had to be seated, and they called each row to get up to get their bags and get off the plane.
I will say this though, on the when we landed here in Florida, the people got a little impatient, and the stewardess was trying to, let them know. It's like, please be seated. It's like, we're gonna, whatever it was that she said. But one of the guys was like, you don't have to be rude. It's like, she wasn't being rude. They were being rude because it's like, here they are getting up, and it's like they're trying to do things in a safe manner, row by row, 5 rows at a time, to get on and get off. Getting on, it's from the back, and getting off, it's from the front. So just wait your turn.
You would think that the logic would make people go, "Oh, I completely understand. It's logical." What I think what has happened over this past year is it's made a lot more people faster to be on edge. I find that people find the littlest thing to set people over the edge. So it's I hope that calms down once we're allowed to, get back out into the world, once we all get our vaccines, and everybody has their kids out of their house, because I think that's a lot of anybody who has young kids, and then for those who are at home who have young kids, and you're doing the homeschooling, and it's all this other stuff, that how there's no more mass shootings at homes from kids and stuff like that is a miracle. But what was good about this, once we got through the whole airport aspect of it, but to find out that we're arriving just as college spring break is going on.
I know.
And families spring break from schools, although a lot of schools are not doing an actual spring break because of this kind of COVID thing. I know some of them are pushing off that so that people could actually get out of school at a normal time or something. Anyway, but there were tons of families, especially on the flight back from Orlando. I mean, I saw more people checking in giant stuffed Winnie the Poohs and like stuffed, unicorn kind of things into their luggage. I'm like, well, somebody's a winner.
On my way to Florida, when I got in line to check to get my bagged into check-in, so in front of me there was a guy. I don't know what it was. It might have been a surfboard or something. I don't know. He's dragging it. So I thought it was funny, but I was like, oh, there's a way to socially distance. He didn't hear me right away, but
Jody makes a good point too. That's right, Jody. It was Bike Week in Daytona as well. So it was a mix of everything you could have of groups down there. But what was really great was there was a really nice turnout, Jody included, at the convention for Super RetroCon. It was
I think because people are just itching to get out and have something to go to.
Yeah, it was definitely, that's what I'm saying. It could have been a fresh jam festival, and people are like, I love fresh jam. We can go to that fresh jam festival, right? We're gonna go have fresh jam. It could have been anything for this point, because you just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I was glad I was there for people to get the hell out and say hello to.
Me too.
People were very kind and very complimentary about, thank you for coming out for this. We got to see some of the other sites. Like I said, we had a blast going to the movies, which is a photo of it here, it's known as the Tin Roof Restaurant. But they brought the inflatable Blunt Man and Chronic. You see now they have the big banners all around there. They've extended it an extra 5 days from what their usual schedule was going to be. And see, they took like the DJ booth and they put this big banner and the big screen, because this is like their club part of the restaurant, that they did this. And then they had a big banner out front, I assure you we're open, which one of the fans who also then came to the con, as a matter of fact, we told them about the convention. This was a Saturday, the day you arrived. And once again, we took our mask off because we were 6 feet away from that gentleman. And then these fine fans, one drove down from the Carolinas, and she went down to Miami, and then the two of them drove up from Miami. This is me masked up in front of the Cocksmokers shack that they have there. This was me in front of that DJ booth that they had there. Me in front of the I Assure You We're Open. And let me see. I think I had no. All right. I thought I had one more, but I didn't. So it was fun. It was really and they had limited. Everybody was at a limited reservation. You came in at your reservation time, and everybody had a half an hour. So every half hour on the hour and on the half, your reservation, and they would bring in a group of, I think about 12 groups at a time. I think there'd be like five or six groups allowed inside that space, and then that outdoor patio that you saw where the inflatables were had another 6 tables that people could be at. It was a lot of fun, and that outdoor mall that all this is in front of, it's jam packed, especially.
It was.
I mean, it was a Saturday, so it wasn't. But everybody once again was wearing masks. It was very respectful in that manner. There was no craziness going on. There was no, what do you mean? I gotta do this, baby. There was none of that going down there. So overall, it was a really fun time. And a good friend of mine, he brought me to this place, like I said, called Circle B Bar Reserve in Polk County, and it was beautiful. And so just to give you, this was like the path that led down to this park, which kind of looks like Savannah, Georgia, or Louisiana, or have you. And here's here's like a turtle on a log in the foreground there, and it had that green kind of marshy kind of look. And this was it around as sundown was going. It was really cool. It was a landscape that we don't have up. There's no big trees in the marshlands of New Jersey. It's just weeds and dead mobsters is pretty much all you find in the swamps there. There was a couple of the seabirds that are in the swamp there. But I liked it. It was a beautiful park, and I was glad to my friend Ryan for showing it to me. We then took, on my last day, we went there again with a friend of mine.
Oh, you did?
Kevin. Yeah, we took Kevin there.
Oh,
but
okay.
There's a part of it called Alligator Alley, where obviously a lot of gators are. But they closed it. Like, we went on the Friday when I arrived. Most of those photos were from the Friday. Then when we went on the Monday when I was leaving with Kevin, they had already closed. On Sunday, they had closed the Alligator Alley part because this starts the month that gators mate. So you don't want to get in the way.
No.
Gators mate. So I was like, all right. So we took them to there's another section of this park that the gators are not at, and you don't have to worry about that because that's the last kind of, I guess you could say, souvenir you want to take back.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bite from a gator. And so
if you survive it.
If you survive it, right? So it was just a lot of fun in general. We went to quite a few different restaurants while we were there, which was another thing I haven't done in like over a year, is actually sit in a restaurant and have something. Here. So we went to this place called Bella Tuscany over near Champions Gate in the Orlando area. It's in like a strip mall that's where Publix is, although everywhere you go in a mall in Florida, there's a Publix. But anyway,
yeah.
Really good if you're ever down there, Bella Tuscany in Champions Gate area. It was phenomenal. I mean, I had a really great meal.
It smelled amazing as soon as you walked in the door.
Smelled amazing. They had a huge, you could see a wine cellar that you could see in through. It was surrounded by glass walls. So that was like their specialty is wines. Their executive chef is Peru, but he does amazing Italian food and really, really, really great food. So we did that. And then we were disappointed on the Sunday that wasn't on. We decided to go to this fusion Cuban Mexican restaurant, and everything was great service wise. They actually even had a mariachi band that walked around from table to table. There was a party of like 12 people, like 2-3 tables over from us.
Yeah.
They were singing with them. They were celebrating something, and the
I think it was
food,
the birthday of an older woman there.
something like that. And so then we ordered drinks, and we had, you know, some appetizers, and then the meals came out, and boom, cooked right. Everything was to temperature, nothing wrong. It just was unseasoned.
It
Like,
didn't have that Boricua, Puerto Rican, Spanish, Caribbean taste.
right. But I'm going to tell you something. The first few bites, I looked around because I was like, wait a minute. One of the symptoms of COVID is you lose your sense of taste. So I was like, yo, is your food bland? Because my food's bland. My food's bland. Is your food bland? Because like, but then what made it to me was I picked up my Dos Equis, and I was like, yeah, I think it was Dos Equis. I had my Dos Equis, and I was like, okay, that tastes like beer. All right, I still have my sense of taste. And everybody at the table was like, yeah, this is ass. This is ass. I was sad because the waiters were very nice. Like I said, staff, a very clean place. The atmosphere, you know, the artwork and everything was really good. It was like, did they just run out of sazon? Like, what the fuck?
Adobo. It needed adobo.
It needed something. It was just crazy because I was like, man, I was like, ooh, Cuban and Mexican, and I was going for the Cuban side of things, and nothing, just nothing. Like it was just. So I even wrote on a review on the Google Maps, you know, when they asked, hey, what'd you think? And they got back to me like, we're so sorry that you had you know, that your experience didn't live up to your standard. Please give us a second chance.
Same thing. They did the same thing to me. It's like, you know, because especially, you know, Ryan showing us how to do that contributions and all that kind of stuff. I went nuts. They went out doing that afterwards.
Exactly. So Jason Max says you should have had lasagna. Should have had lasagna. Absolutely. Scott Meany, so beautiful. Yes, some of those photos were absolutely stunning. So this was our first chance. I mean, you're not out of Florida yet, so you still have a time to sit back. But I've been sleeping in a different bedroom just the past couple of days to make sure, God forbid, that Diane, you know, she'd be good. She's got like the immune system of like an alien. She's like acid for blood. What is Chris saying here? Hey, you guys ever get stopped Panama Beach, Florida? I would show you guys around. Well, if we ever get down to Panama Beach, we'd love to. Thank you for the invite there, sir. Mm-hmm. So what'd you think of the movies?
So I have LA movies to compare it to, and I have to say, I mean, obviously for many reasons, the movies in LA was a lot more extensive. They had a lot more there to take photo ops. So, you know, but it's not like it took away from it in any way. So it was nice. And I think it depends on where it is that you go, or they go, I should say, and the restaurant that they're working out of. That depends on how it is that they work their cow tippers and the other stuff.
Yeah, they gotta put some sort of local flair to it. I know. They just announced Boston to be one of the next cities. I think they're in Des Moines either this week or next week. So I know. Listen, I've been to Des Moines. You guys should have a blast there because there ain't nothing else in Des Moines. I've been to Des Moines. So enjoy it. I have a funny feeling y'all gonna ask them to extend it for like, can you guys make this permanent? By the way, that's a perfect Des Moines accent. Just so you know. So that's it. And then Boston. I know Atlanta is looking to get it as well. I know they're trying to get a location there as well, and a few other locations. And
did you get to talk to Derek as to how many locations that they're looking to hopefully do once it's said and done? And did they say?
I think there's 3 other cities that are being talked about. You know, they've hit pretty much a lot of the major cities. I can't remember if they did Denver yet. I can't see why they wouldn't do Denver, although it'd be best to do it once they're done with all their snow. because they just got
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do it to the rest of the end of the year, to be honest.
I mean, and then there are people who are like, why don't you just make this permanent? And you know, that just means, you know, having permanent staffing and actually incorporating it and all this other stuff. A legit thing. Gem Girl says, come to Michigan. Yeah, I would think Detroit would love to have this. That's for sure. Or maybe Dearborn or somewhere up in Traverse City or something like that during the summer. It would be fun. So the guys at Movies Pop Up are the people to contact there. A guy by the name of Derek. Derek is the guy who's the head of all that. And he's also running it too. Like he's there. Hey, Rick Wayne, good to see you too, sir. Thanks for coming out.
Hello there.
Look at that. I think your icon has like movies stuff or something. I can't quite tell, but there you go. Come to Atlanta. Yes, they're trying. They're trying, Rick. They're trying to get a location nailed down up that way. I totally love Atlanta as well. There's a great barbecue place actually over on Piedmont called Fat Matt's. If you ever had a chance, it's up near the Buckhead area of Atlanta on Piedmont there. Fat Matt's Barbecue. It's also a jazz place as well. So, you know, once we can get back to eating in person again. And I do business in Atlanta twice a year, and it's always part of the week long. I'm usually there for 1 week in January and 1 week in July. And I always make it a must to go to because they have, yes, Fat Matt's is legendary. So that's some of the best barbecue I've ever had. So Chris has, Marilyn, I have a question. How was it working with Brian on Clerks?
It was awful. No.
All the time.
The thing is, it's like I've worked with Brian on stage. So we've always had an amazing work experience on stage. So we've done 2 stage productions. So working with Brian is always great. And the thing is too, it had been so long since we had worked together, and when we got to work together, even for that brief little second that you see us on Reboot, I loved it. And the fact that we get to do Clerks 3 again, I'm really looking forward to that.
I am really, really looking forward to that as well. Here's a brief shot of us, and I look like I've just had some bad gas or something. And it seems like Walt Flanagan can smell it too. You can smell it. You look great in that shot, by the way. But
well, thank you.
That was a great, fun day on the Reboot set when they were doing all the convention scenes that were going on there. And it was funny because literally every panel that went on during the convention scenes in the movie were all shot on that day. So everybody that used to do their convention panel that they would run into, we got to watch them film. And it was a lot of fun. It was great fun hanging out with the folks from Legion M. The crew was always great. The Hilton Hotel, which that convention center is attached to, they were really cool to be a part of as well. The city of New Orleans is awesome. Another great food city. The hospitality is great. I mean, it was weird that year. I had the last time I was in New Orleans was like probably nearly 10 years prior to that year. But then that year, that February, I was asked to be a part of their Mardi Gras. There's every crew has their own day to do a march, and I was part of the Chewbacca's crew, and I was the king of their parade. And then got to come back then a couple of months later for obviously, Reboot. And then that happened to be just around this time last year because I spent, or 2 years ago, because I spent St. Patrick's Day in New Orleans, which St. Patrick's Day in New Orleans is like Mardi Gras with gasoline on it, with a tire fire. It was just like nuts.
Yeah. I actually marked it on the calendar when we were there.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was a lot of fun, though. It was definitely a lot of fun. I was glad I was able to do it. I'd love to go back there again. Who do we have here now? We have Mary Veronica on Clerks 3. Marry Veronica on Clerks 3, Dante. Are you kidding? Come on. Get her, Dante. Well, hold your roll. Don't be jumping the storyline. Let Kevin take care of that.
Well, and the thing is, it's like, you're not the person to tell. It's like Kevin's the writer.
True. And will Dante be married in Clerks 3, or does he have a son or daughter? Well, as we last left you off with Clerks 2, I had a hideous fucking shut of a love child coming, apparently, with Rosario Dawson's character, Becky. So we bought the Quick Stop, me and Randall, and, we hired Elias as well. So that's where we left off. Where we pick up will be years later, I believe. And this is something that Kevin has talked about in interviews, so I'm not spilling any tea here. But in reading this new script, because the script has gone through 2 to 3 different versions, I'm enjoying what Kevin has written. Kevin is talking about perhaps a June or July kind of shoot period, all depending on obviously where we are in the world and a pandemic, and where we are location wise. I'd say 85% the chances we're shooting it at the actual Quick Stop.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason there's some crazy financial benefit or location benefit to shoot somewhere else. I know that the set designers who built the fake storefront, which actually was then utilized again at Los Angeles Comic-Con last year. That actual
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
No, I'm losing a year because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I know.
So pre-pandemic. So that's the actual set from the movie that they then took as, the booth to promote the release of the movie at Los Angeles Comic-Con. If those magicians do it again and say, hey, we can totally replicate the interior of the store. Now that would be a hard stretch to do the entire store personally, but that's just me.
Well, that facade is in LA, so if they had to shoot in LA.
Right, but as you saw from Jay and Bob, you didn't see any scenes in the store.
Right.
While this movie has a lot of scenes in the store.
Yeah.
So it should happen in New Jersey. I mean, it's only right that we actually started the whole legendary aspect of the View Askew universe, shooting it at that store to somewhat end it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's ending. I'm just saying to end it kind of with that, with their being at the store. I think would be kind of poetic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So hopefully we get it. And so in reading the script, and if we're going to shoot in June, July, I can't see it being released earlier than the end of this year, beginning of next. I mean, and Kevin really enjoyed taking Reboot out to audiences live in a roadshow aspect with a Q&A to follow. So I think this is what he wants to do with this. Take the movie from city to city and tour it with a live Q&A afterwards. I have already told him I want to be a part of that. I love doing the travel and interacting with fans. Who knows? I could be the warm-up act, and then he comes in with his 4-hour Q&A.
Well, I would hope that I can be a part of that as well. Yeah. But you never know. And I mean, the fact is, though, Reboot had a lot of special effects in there to some degree. So I can't imagine that Clerks 3 is going to really have that kind of special effects. So, and Kevin likes to edit his own thing. So turnaround should be pretty decently quick for what we.
Yeah, this isn't like the View Askew universe Endgame.
Yeah.
Where every character is going to come through a time portal and rescue whoever from whatever, stop someone from shoplifting or something of that nature. Right. But it'll be interesting and fun to see, just being back in that location filming again. I mean, the last time we were at the actual store was for the actual Clerks 2. you know,
Well,
we show.
you were.
No,
I
it's I mean, I mean in the film world.
Yeah, I mean, I have not been there since 94, other than when, sorry, 93, other than when you made the pit stop there when we did the Clerks 3 reading.
That's right. Well, you had to. You
Yeah.
had to stop there. Yeah, we had it's funny because I came across those photos when getting up photos to pull for this show. I came across the part of the day you and Diana and Smitty, we all stopped there and did like a weird kind of photo shoot. And people who knew who we were like, "Hey, are you guys going to be shooting soon?" You know, so it'd be kind of fun. So Jason Mack asks, Marilyn, what is your favorite scene from Clerks?
I mean, I've always said that my favorite scene is when Silent Bob finally speaks. It's just, that was a moment for me that I was like, oh my God, because I didn't know about that. I didn't see it until I actually saw it on the big screen. And so I really enjoyed that scene because it's just so poignant. There's just so much feels to it.
Oh, it definitely has the feels for sure. Let's open this up to an audience Q&A. So if you guys have questions, start popping them through the chat there. I'll pop them up. And to see what people want to know about. What are your plans once you get back to LA? You've been putting yourself on tape for a couple of auditions. I noticed you recently put up on your Instagram some sort of kind of blooper take of an audition you're not allowed to talk about. So I'm not going to ask you about the the audition you had that you have a blooper to.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I could say kind of what was happening because everybody's like, "Wait, why? Why are you laughing so hard?" I mean, I can't say what the audition was for or anything like that, but and the reason I had to do it where it was because of the dialogue, and even it's not like the dialogue would have given it away, but still, it's like I signed an NDA, and everything has an NDA these days, but I had to make like I was on the phone. And as you can see, it's like I keep doing this because this is what we're used to. It's like, you know, and the whole thing on TikTok is it's like to find out what era you're from is ask them how would you talk on the phone? And nowadays it's like this. Frankly, I think that looks ridiculous. It's like you're gonna slap yourself on the face. But for purposes of filming a self-tape, it's like you don't want this little finger here in your face. And so I had to make sure that I kept doing this, and I kept catching myself, and finally I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop. And the laugh works started, and then the fact that I sounded like Muttley the dog laughing.
Nice. So we have a question. We have a question for you here. How did you like working on Rogue Warrior movie?
I loved working on that, and several reasons. I love the scene. I loved working with Tracy Birdsall, and I love working with Neil Johnson, who is the writer director of that and several other movies that I've worked on. It's we were on a cliff, mind you, when we were doing that scene, and it was just, we just kept going back and forth, and they were having technical issues with the camera and the drone. So while they were going off doing that, we were still hanging on the edge of the cliff there, you know, with my gun pointed, my fake gun, and just going over our lines, and then just talking over, you know, everyday life. So it was just very effortless.
Yeah. Those are always the best when you have just really great chemistry with your coworker or co-star, and
Yeah.
and you really can just put out the product you want to do. So Mike Travis asks, how did Brian's fingernail painting job on the floor of the Quick Stop actually turn out?
Let's just say it was actually clear nail polish, so not that hard. But he was still doing a pretty good job, even though it was clear. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was so well liked that Rosario Dawson requested it for the
oh, did she?
and I actually did her feet in that
Yeah.
one. So that's those are tougher nails to do, is the
Yes, they
feet.
are, especially
Uh,
the little one.
yes. So here's another question for you. CJ Robles asks, "Hey Marilyn, what role would you like to play next?"
Oh my gosh. I have no idea, but almost any role will do and suffice. I just want to work. I mean, if you had asked me this like years ago, because I had turned down a role for a stage production of playing Lace in The Lion in Winter, and it's like I hated having to turn that role down because I loved it, especially getting to do a British accent, which I suck at now. It's like I was better then. It's like, but when you don't practice, but at the time, though, I had the opportunity as well to do a 2-person play. So it's like this little bitty role compared to this from beginning to end. I kind of had to do that role.
Yeah, that's the worst when it's feast or famine, where you have too many things coming at once or nothing comes at all. Our
Yeah.
next question, Christopher asks, Marilyn, question is, what is your favorite line of any role that you were a part of? Do you have a favorite line from any films that you've ever done or any other plays?
No, because I don't like picking favorite of anything. I don't like having to figure out which is going to be the favorite of anything, because I don't want to be just confined.
Right. We have Emmett from Haven for Heroes, the comic book shop up in Port Jervis, not far from me, actually. Really great store. Emmett asked, what is your favorite con to do?
Now, okay, so do you mean favorite convention itself or favorite as far as what type of conventions? I don't know. I mean, it's like okay, because I've done Comic Cons, I've done horror cons, retro cons. So I don't know, but you know what? I'll take any con. I'll take any con.
I like the Galaxy cons that those guys run are really, really huge. I enjoyed those. Don't get me wrong. Supernova in Australia was a blast to be
Yeah.
a part
Oh
of.
well, I went to the one I did there was oh my gosh.
Armageddon Con.
No, I didn't do that. It was oh my gosh. Because I went to the one in Perth and in Adelaide. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it.
That's all right. No worries.
But you know what? They're not in charge of it anymore. The ones that were our
Correct. Our contact.
promoters.
They've moved on to other things. And then we
Yeah.
also Dragger says Rhode Island Comic Con's pretty great. Yes, I was there for a good many years in a row. Those guys up at Rhode Island and Altered Reality Entertainment, they throw on some really great shows. I know they went on to do shows, the Colorado Springs Comic Con, as well as the Albany Empire State Comic Con and Comic Con, CONN in Connecticut, and a few others. So those guys are great. Hopefully,
I've tried to be there. I've tried. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yes, and we're trying to get everybody like a big View Ski reunion up to Rhode Island as well. Yes, also bring in for Rock and Shock. Yes, I knew that they had the Rock and Shop up in Worcester, Mass, which is a horror convention as well as a music festival. Some of my fun times there has been in Worcester. It was wicked awesome. So hopefully, if they start that back up, I would love to go back up there. It's been a couple of years. Yes, Danger Girl in a row. I was in Rhode Island a few times as far as, and along with Mr. Anthony Fraschetti, he knows how much fun is at the Rhode Island one.
Yeah, for anybody though who wants to see us, what you need to do is contact the promoter of that show. Have them contact ZSC Entertainment.
That's right.
Our booking agent for all appearances, so that we can be at a convention near you.
That's right, zscentertainment.com. Click on that, and they have the contacts tab, and they'll get back to you. And they have a whole litany of people in their roster as well, including now the one and only Mr. Jeff Anderson, which we were about to kick off a whole world tour
I know.
at the beginning of last year when the whole world decided to shut its doors. So hopefully we can get that back while we're doing it. Here we go. Here's an off-the-wall question from a good friend of mine down in Mississippi. He asks, so this is an off-the-wall question, but could Marilyn outdrink Brian while reading a script? No, she does not drink. So if we're talking I don't know either. I don't think most people can outdrink me, even just if it's plain water. I'm like a cannibal like that. So thank you for that off-the-wall Mississippian type of question. So there we go. But we will be doing, like, if people want to see us together sooner rather than later, this night exactly next week, you can catch me and Marilyn and Crystal Starr and Sun Kunamake. I think I mangled her name there. From the guys at Zenescope Entertainment, who do tons of comic books and also graphic novels. Each month, once a month, we do a review of a classic movie and talk about it. So what we do is we tell people to watch the movie before the actual taping or the airing of the show, which will be 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on March 26th. It's a Friday. We actually have 2 cast members. We're going to be doing the movie Night of the Comet. 2 casters, Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Mulrooney, will be part of us as well. They'll be interviewed as well by the wonderful Ralph Tedesco and why am I blanking on his name?
I always blank on his name too, but I'm terrible at names anyway.
I remember his name is Samson. Something Samson. Catch us on the Facebook, Facebook page of Zenescope, YouTube Zenescope, and Twitch TV Zenescope. They all, just like this show is, taped live on that platform.
I don't know if I've ever seen. I probably have seen Night of the Comet, but
you're gonna have to by next week.
Oh well, yeah, that's no problem. But it's funny, many of these things that we've been reviewing, I kind of forget. It's been so long.
Yeah, we've had some really great movies over the past couple of months. I think we're now on movie number 7. I think we've gotten 6 months.
Is it? I've lost count.
And what they do is, if you notice on the side there, on the left side, you see that there are different versions of different, they're like variant ideas of the movie posters themselves. Like the center one there is obviously Underworld. The one below it is Edward Scissorhands. By the way, it's always done with, first of all, the artist is Sun right there, the woman who does them, and it's always female leads. And then the other one was Mindscape, which was the last one that we did.
Dreamscape.
See, in my head, out my head, I'm literally like a 12K floppy disk right now. I have barely any memory going on, staying home so much. And I got to remember, and I got to start working on a whole script. I'm literally like 2-3 months away from filming this film, and I need to work on learning all these lines. So join us for that if you can. It'll be a lot of fun. So this is going to be the part of the night, Marilyn, that I do a thing called the speed round.
That's right.
That's right. So listen, it's for those who are just joining us. Speed round questions are pretty simple. It's just an A or B choice. Just pick whatever comes to your mind. There's no really kind of consequences to it. It's just your thoughts.
It's our own consequences,
It's about 20 questions. It's really, really, really simple to do. We're going to bring in some music here. The music is provided from the one and only Mr. Scott Schiaffo. So here we go. Music up here. All right. Music by Scott Schiaffo. Check out scottschiaffo.com for your music needs. If you're scoring a movie or scoring a short, or if you need something like this for your podcast, go to scottschiaffo.com. If there's something on there that you don't know and you need, he's the man you can contact. He can actually compose stuff for you as well. scottschiaffo.com. All right, Marilyn, you ready for this?
I guess so.
Here we go. Acting or directing?
Acting.
Film festivals or Comic-Cons?
Comic-Cons.
LA or Florida?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, yeah, if you asked me this a little while ago, I probably would immediately LA. LA.
Long flight or long drive?
Long flight.
Filming or live stage?
Right now, stage.
There you go. Mask or no mask?
Well, because we're at a time we should, I'll say mask.
There you go. Highway or side street?
Side street.
Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Superman, all right. Booth or table?
Booth.
Puerto Rican or Italian?
Puerto Rican.
Movie or play?
Movie or play?
Mm-hmm.
Movie.
Buying or selling?
Buying.
Laughing or crying?
Ooh. Depends on my mood.
Well, I hear you laughing right now, so we'll take that. Love or money?
Love. Always.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Sunny dry or sunny humid?
Sunny dry.
Clerks 1 or Clerks 3?
Ooh. Oh, no. Well, now it's going to have to be Clerks 3.
There you go. Come on. You got to promote. Spicy or mild?
What?
Spicy or mild?
Oh, mild.
Favorite curse word?
It's always fuck.
And this is the OHalloRANT. I named it because I'm always on a rant. Good friends know that you can get me on a rant pretty quickly. So the final question, Miss Marilyn Ghigliotti, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Lately, it's selfishness.
Selfishness. There you go, people. And that was the speed round with Marilyn Ghigliotti. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. That was fun. And once again, thank you, Mr. Scott Schiaffo, for providing me with a wonderful kind of bed of music to have people talk about their speed round. And I just want to say to the folks out there, we're not done. Catch us again next week. Me and Marilyn going to be part of the Zenoscope Movie Club, Night of the Comic. We just ask you go see the movie, or if you own the movie yourself, even better. Before the show will air 6 p.m. Eastern on that Friday, or 3 p.m. Pacific as well. And like I said, we have two of the guests going to be from the movie itself, Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney. It should be a lot of fun. We have a lot. We open the questionings to the audience, just like this, how we bring them up and discuss it amongst ourselves. And then they sell an alternate cover or something inspired by the movie, drawn by Sun. She's a phenomenal artist.
Really is.
They sell you the comic book of what they're doing, or the collector's showcase, which are gaining value actually as we go on, as the shows go on and on and on. I want to thank the lovely and talented and still in Florida, might I add, Marilyn Ghigliotti, sucking up
Thank
that
you.
the orange state sun, drinking that fresh orange juice, dodging those gators, and dodging all those, what we would call in the Jersey Shore, the bennies, the tourists, the snowbirds that are down there, keeping her healthy and safe. You could follow her. Her address here from Marilyn is, there you go, marilyngigliotti.wixsite.com/Marilyn Ghigliotti, where you can also buy autographed items there as well. What's your newest item that you would like to see people take a look at and maybe buy?
I forgot. I don't know. But I do have some things that I do want to add to that, right? And actually, I have a lasagna pan with the lasagna recipe. So there you go.
Ladies, if you want to treat your man to a lasagna, a la, Marilyn and as Veronica, go to wixsite.com/Marilyn Ghigliotti. Find something there. You're also on Cameo, correct?
I am on Cameo. And, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But yeah, if you want to give a special message to anybody, you can get me on Cameo. Unfortunately, though, I just recently had to kind of turn somebody down because they wanted me to kind of do a promo. So anything like that that's business-like, unfortunately, cannot be done.
Right. Was that Elon Musk trying to get you to promote?
Right. Yeah.
Someone is asking, Gem Girl here, is lasagna the discount code on your site? That's a smart idea. That would be a smart idea. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've had her back. She was my first guest in the beginning of all this madness, which I think April 3rd is my year anniversary of this show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Year coming April 3rd.
So we almost made it to the year.
Almost made it to the year. Almost made it to the year. But it's great to see you in person this past weekend.
Yeah, it was.
To my fellow Irishmen's out there, happy St. Patrick's Day. It was I spent St. Patrick's Day night podcasting, streamcasting with the Scripts Gone Wild group, which they did the movie Leprechaun, which they were vicious because you not only are reading the script of the movie and everybody plays different characters, but it's a drinking game. And anytime we said the word gold, we all had to take a drink. It was deadly. It was nice working with Tiffany Shepis and Kane Hodder and quite a few other great people. Rain Pryor as well. That was a lot of fun on St. Patrick's Day night.
Yeah, I can see that's why I was not invited on that.
So I might be getting a booking date down in the Mississippi coast with my good friend Tom Kanan next month. You guys will be hearing more of that in the coming weeks. In the meantime, everybody here is saying thank you to Marilyn, Mr.
Thank you.
Anthony Freschetti. If you're looking for a great photographer up in the New England area, Anthony Freschetti is your man. Haven for Heroes, Port Jervis, New York, by the way. Get up there if you're looking for great comic book stuff. Also, really good secondhand used video games if you're doing a retro kind of thing. Thank you, Jacker. Happy anniversary. Yes, it'll be coming up soon. Gem Girl, thank you so much. CJ Robles, thank you so much. Dragger as well. Everybody. Yeah. Yes, moi. Good to see you as well. Thank you. No, you're the man. Chris P. Domenico, Pierre Domenico.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, Scott Meany, you're looking for some fantastic Mr. Scott Meany. He did the artwork for the book that he worked with Scott Schiaffo. Check that out as well. Cool Cat Rican, good to see you as well, sir. And everybody out there, Trey Mock, my friend, Christopher Hewitt, who hasn't missed a show. Jason Mack, Meg Angelino, good to see you as well. Mr. Bob Senkowitz, thank you so much for joining this evening as well. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a hockey game together soon. Hate Jury, good to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. Danger Girl AC, thank you so much for having your time spent with us this evening. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend down there in lovely Tampa, and have a safe flight back to LA.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll be seeing you in the flesh in a couple of months on a certain set of a certain movie.
I hope so. But thank you for having me. It's like and yeah, I was so happy to actually see you. And it's funny because it's like when you came and it's like I wanted to hug you, but I wasn't sure if we should hug and all this. And you was like, a hug. So it was nice.
We had masks on. We were good. And then we realized, look, I'm not coughing. You're not coughing. We're good. No, seriously, though, I will be getting, just for my peace of mind, we have vouchers to go get a COVID test if we need to. And it's right down at the pharmacy at my local supermarket, not far from here. So,
I took a COVID test before I flew out here, and I'll be doing it again when I get back. Yeah,
I did one a week before I left, and then I'll do another one later. And it's just, to make peace of mind for everybody.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you again next week. I'll see you on the Zoom talking about Night of the Comet. We'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye. Woo. Well, there we go, folks. Another show for another weekend here. I hope to everybody who came out to the con this past weekend there in Kissimmee, I hope you had a great time. We had a great time. I want to thank my friend down there, Ryan, who took us to all these great places. Good friend of mine. I hope to be down there again in the near future. This Saturday, I'm going to be on a podcast. I can't announce it yet. Once the show announces it, then I'll announce it. So Friday, I think around 7 or 8 o'clock, I'll be back on the air with some announcements about an appearance. So check that out. If you want to follow along, and please do subscribe. Hang on, that's the wrong one. If you want to follow along, subscribe to the show. Boom. There we are. Please follow, subscribe, hit like on Facebook, The O'HalloRANT, YouTube, The O'HalloRANT, Twitch TV, Brian C. O'HalloRANT, Twitter and Instagram, The O'HalloRANT. And best to get in there now while we can, so that, once I get on set with the Clerks 3, I'll be posting stuff during that. If you want to follow my own personal Facebook, YouTube, Twitch is pretty much the same, but Twitter and Instagram, Brian C. O'HalloRANT. And don't forget as well, this coming Friday, I will be a part of the Zenoscope Night of the Comet Movie Club. Come out for that. Come up for that. That is 6 p.m. And then later on that night, I'll do this show. And we can go from there. But I want to say once again, thank you to everybody. Please keep an eye out for our Asian American brothers and sisters. Everybody's having a tough time. We're all having a tough time. There's no need to let it out to people who have nothing to do with whatever your problem is or whatever you think the issue is. We need to stay strong, and we need to keep each other's safety in mind. Just be more patient. That's all. Just be more patient with people. They're doing their best to do what they can for us. And, we surpassed the 100 million vaccination point here of at least one shot in people's arms. And hopefully we'll get everybody soon enough. And, get that herd immunity once everybody's vaccinated. And, we can go back to doing more cons, more conventions, more movies, going to see movies, going to bullshit about movies with each other, which, by the way, I really enjoyed the 4-hour Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. You know, it's a movie when it first came out that was, they tried to just add more funny to it. I don't think the funny helped. The Zack version is more of a serious kind of darker look of the DC world, which I enjoyed. I'm not going to spoil it for people, but I think it's worth the 4 hours. And it's HBO Max. If you have to, watch half of it and then watch it. That's the other thing. He's put it into chapters. Chapter 1, part 1, part 2, part 3. So you can stop it at one of the parts and you'll be able to pick it up quite easily there. Watch it to the very end too. Just so I'm putting it out there, watch it to the very end. It's worth a watch. I like it. I think it's definitely more improved than the Joss Whedon version of it, personally. So if you get a chance, see it. I hope they give Zack another chance at another DC movie, another Batman or whatever, but we'll see. But thank you all for watching. I look forward to talking to you guys. I'll be on the air again tomorrow night with another show that I can't say yet, unless they've already announced since I've been on the air. And then look for more announcements of another appearance next month that just came up. So it'll be a local comic book shop that I'll be appearing at down in the Mississippi area. So we'll see you then. In the meantime, wash your hands, wear your mask 6 feet apart. If the opportunity is to take the shot, take the shot. I know there's many opportunities out there for other people, and sometimes you're feeling like you're waiting forever. Support your local businesses, support your local comic book shops, support your local restaurants if you can, support the local arts, support all these people because they're there for you and you need to be there for them. On that note, I love you folks. Good night and have a wonderful weekend.